And as a hitting instructor, one of the easiest things for me to do is teach the mechanics of hitting.
Right.
That's the easy part. The hardest part is what I think made you one of the greatest hitters in the game.
Thank you.
Was the approach to hitting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to step away, and I want you to explain what you need to do when you step into that box and where your mindset needs to be.
Okay. Well, it took a little while to kind of figure it out, but I think early on in my career, I kind of established, okay, what type of hitter I am, what am I trying to do when I get up to the plate, and what I learned was I'm a contact hitter. I'm not a guy who's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and so my goal is to go up to the plate and put the bat on the ball, pure and simple. No, I had no preconceived notions of where I wanted to hit it. I just knew that for me, what I did best was hit the ball the other way. And to me, that's the hardest part when it comes to hitting, is being able to stand here and let the ball travel and let it get deep. Because, boom, right there, that's really where I made a living, right there, fastball away. And so I knew if I could handle this ball right here was going to be easier to get to. And it's all about hand position. And notice the hands, how when you go from away to in the middle to out in front, that the palm on the top hand is up. It's not going over. Because if it starts to go over, now I'm going to make a whole lot of outs, and I'm not going to be able to hit the ball as hard. And so I understood that if I got into a good position and if I took my hands on the right path throughout my swing, that I was going to have a chance for success. And that, in a game of baseball, is one of those little battles that you have to try to win, okay? We can't be so locked up on the result. We really have to focus on the process. And the process is, if I could go up to the plate and do things right every time, my chances of success go way up. So for me, it was understanding that I needed to control this ball out here first. If I could control this ball in the middle, and this ball in the inside would be easier to hit. And that's who I was. That's what I tried to do. I tried to hit the ball. I tried to let it get deep as much as I could. Every now and then, you're going to take a shot. You're going to look for a ball in the middle of the plate. You're going to look for a ball in. But if I didn't get it where I was looking for, I would take it and try to work the camp to get to where I thought I knew what I was going to get. But ultimately, I wasn't a guess hitter. I didn't really anticipate a whole lot. I just kind of trusted my eyes and trusted if I got my hands in the right position that I could hit it. And ultimately, I learned that if I could handle the ball away, I could handle the other two zones a whole lot easier. And so I really focused on trying to command the fastball, or trying to command the outer third of the plate, because if I could control that, I can control the other 2/3. And it really got to the point where I could go up to the plate and not really look for anything other than something out over the plate and still be able to handle balls middle and in.
We're going to work off the tee right now. This is what you like to do to groove your swing a little bit?
Yeah, just to get loose, and just to, because one thing in the tee that I like to do, like I want to build a consistent swing, a consistent path. Sometimes when you get softer, sometimes the hitting coach is throwing your ball down and away, up and down, but the tee, what allows you to do is just to leave that ball there. It's not moving.
One simple spot.
And you want one simple spot, and you just try to build your path. A lot of people like to hit the ball right field. I always try to focus gap to gap and middle. I don't like to think too much right field, because I feel like if I think too much right field, then I'm going to end up getting under the ball too much and forcing myself that ball. A lot of guys sometimes say, well, stay inside the ball. I mean, your swing are going to come inside the ball no matter what. I mean, there's no way that you don't going to come inside the ball when you come to your swing. If you go outside, you cannot hit like this, so it has to be inside. And like on the left center, right center field, I always try to split the tee like right in the middle of my stand, and just really nice and easy. Get in my low, and just try to get loose. And just work on the line. I always pick a spot that I want that ball to travel and try to get in that plane. Like if that tee is that high, that's how I want that ball to take off. And then after it pass the infield, like to go up,
Yeah.
So like I don't want to like get on there and then start hitting in the cage. I want to make sure they stay aligned.
Well, a lot of people are teaching, if you hit the top of the cage, that was a great swing.
Well, I mean, for them, it can help them out. I mean, like I say, I'm not against anybody else teaching. I won't teach that.
This
you know,
is just
myself.
your routine.
This is just my routine.
So that's it. That's a simple line drive. Is there a rhythm to it that you try to do?
No, I try to really hit like 3 or 4 in a row and then take a break, like walk around, and I'm like, oh, that feel good. Or let's say I pop one up and I didn't like it, one thing that I do, I try not to rush. When I'm working out, man, I really take my time. I just don't come over here and try to hit a 1,000 swing, and I always try to take my time on what I'm doing and processing at the same time in my mind, you know, talking to my hitting coach and just say, hey, what do you think about that? Hey, you like this? Or no, you got under. You know, make sure you put your hands back. Your hands are too much in front. You know, little things like that.
So you're looking out over the plate more?
Just always middle of the plate. You know, I never try to focus in one area of the play. I always try to stay middle and then gap. That's keep me square. So here we don't have a number in center field, but most of the stadium, you know, they have a number. I always try to pick that number in the middle, which is most of the time is gonna be a 0, you know. And I try always square myself, you know, even it up with that number in the middle. So that way I square my shoulder and I square my stand, you know. And if I feel like I'm too close, I need to make sure that I'm square. So that way when my swing path comes through the strike zone, so I can get down to the sinker and elevate it. You know, if I just stay up and I use upper body, that's when I'm gonna roll over. So you need to really go down, get it, boom, and then push from your back knee, your back leg. So the back leg is really important. Your lower half, I mean, it's just like everything else. Foundation, if you build a house, what's the first thing that you do? Lay a great foundation. Yeah. Hitting is the same thing. You have to have a great foundation and then attach it with your upper body, you know. But when I'm good, it's when my foundation is great, you know, strong, lower half, and then the rest, you know, I just...
So it's pretty simple. I mean, your foundation, hands to the ball, and you're letting the bat take care of it.
Yeah, but the most important thing that we forget about is you need to see the ball. Really, when you're in this batter's box, you can't be thinking about hands, leg. You need to focus on the most important thing. You need to see the ball, you know, and hit it. So that's it.
You need to see it and hit it.
As for myself is concerned, I think the key to myself hitting was waiting as long as I could. But I think the key to hitting, you have seen many guys with different stands. Some guys have stands that are kind of open like this, which I could never hit like this. I had to have what you call open stance, because what I try to do when I was hitting is try to cover the outside part of the plate with the bat every time I went up. That means when I made a swing, I knew that I could reach the outside part of the plate. Now, when that ball was outside, I never did try to pull the ball. Most young hitters today, they try and pull the ball outside. That means when they try to pull the ball outside, they pull it directly to the shortstop. You have to let the ball continue going. Say a guy throws a hard slider outside. You have to continue to let it go. By that I mean is that when you make a swing, hit that ball to right center, because that means you're keeping it going the direction that he's throwing it in. The breaking ball. The breaking ball is probably one of the hardest things to hit because you have to wait too long. Now what I did is that on the breaking ball, I would always wait as long as I could. That means my body might have been moving or my legs might have been moving, but the bat was always stationary. And I think that was the reason I was more of a breaking ball hitter than a fastball hitter, because I would hit the fastball to the opposite field, pull the breaking ball. And that's usually what most of the pitchers try to get you out on, is breaking balls done, especially when you're first coming up. A lot of players move back just a little bit where they can't jam them inside, or either throw the fastball inside part of the plate. That means the ball inside, he can always maneuver. Now he's got a little more hitting area to go with. The ball outside, he can go outside and pick it up without trying. But the key again is waiting. The longer you wait, the better you are, regardless of what pitch it is. This is mainly what my lineup would be. Some guys, Willie Stargell had his hand over the knob here. which is the best way for him to hit. But everybody have a different way of waiting, different way of holding the bat. But the best way for you, that's the best way you go with. If you squeeze the bat real hard, if you look at the muscles here, the muscles tighten. It's just like writing. You cannot squeeze the pen too long, you can't make the words. So you have to relax the bat. At the last second, you have to close the bat kind of tight because you read the swing. Weight on you. That means they're shaking their head, but nothing going on. They're trying to make you hold the bat to see how long you're going to grip it like this. Now, the longer you grip the bat like this, the less you're going to make it come through. So then you just relax the bat in your hand, until he gets ready to pitch. But don't let this muscle get too tight.
When you get technical, right, Jimmy, and we start talking about guys getting in that ready position, that bow and arrow effect, that load region, they all kind of get there differently, right? We were talking about that today.
Yeah, for me, like, I think hitters have good swings, but what gets them to good swings? Like, I love looking at the side view of a hitter and what is the first move that gets them ready to that power position of knob to the catcher. And to be honest, Case, everybody does something a little bit different, which is cool, you know, because nobody's alike. Right. To get to this position here, which again, I call it knob to the catcher, the strong hitting position, what was the first move that he did? He pulled his hands to a position that got him there.
There's your knob. Stop it.
Yep, right
Stop
there.
There's your knob to the catcher right there. He gets into that load position, right? Now he's ready to fire. He gets separation, right, Jimmy?
Yep.
Separation with hands and that foot. There's your bow and arrow effect right there.
Look at, he probably started here and he ended here. Right. And then look at he had the hands here, but now there's your bow and arrow effect. But look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. Look at the concentration. Now the only thing that works from here, once you're in this position, you drop the bat head to the ball.
Yep. So he tips the barrel, and then he pulls that back elbow.
And then look, Case, look right here. And then the elbow will drop here.
Right. So then you have the back elbow drops in, puts him right on plane. Right?
Absolutely. Boom. The least amount of movement you can have as a hitter, you put yourself in hitting position. Watch the back heel, because what he's on his move to the baseball, he's not spinning off early.
Not spinning, right.
He's coming here, back heel, boom, on contact he's spinning. He's not spinning early.
How good he works his elbow. So go ahead. He brings him back. He's going to stretch this elbow back. Look at that. Stop right there. Look at that back stretch right there. Look at the stretch that he gets. He's not that big of a guy. The reason he hits for so much power, this is that bow and arrow effect. If you had a bow and arrow, Jimmy, because I know you're a big hunter, right? And I took that bow and arrow and went like this, right? And I hit it, right? You're not going to get too many deer, right?
No.
If I stretch it back like this, now you got something. You can let it rip.
I love when guys gain ground forward. Because if you gain ground forward, it means your hands are going to move to some degree going back. It doesn't have to be real far back because you don't want to bar.
Right.
You don't want to push them way, way back. But they've got to go back to a certain degree. They've got to come back to a certain degree. But if you're parallel, if you're shoulder width apart, I can get out to here, and that's where you get all your power.
Sounds like there's not one clear-cut answer here.
No.
Their body type's different. Their flexibilities are different. Everything.
Absolutely.
So you can't really teach a youngster how to load. You got to watch his swing and then tinker within his swing.
And tinker, yeah. I do think, though, like we're showing, guys can start wherever they want to start, but most big league hitters, when they're in position, boom, they have that they're getting some sort of separation back to go forward, right, Jimmy?
That's why I think it's good to get kids, young kids, even to sometimes get them narrow, you know, and let them feel what it's like to go out. See, I started here and I ended here. That's what ultimately, when kids get strong and they start getting core strength, they can widen out a little bit farther, but I would like to see them start a little more narrow. My son and I do this drill where I'll get him where he's narrow, but I want him to feel what it's like to go get the baseball. I don't want the ball to get back on him in the zone because I want him to feel what it's like to actually go out here and get the baseball.
More together for young kids.
Yeah.
I love
and then to feel that separation.
They get comfortable,
walking away from your hands.
Absolutely.
Walking away from your hands.
That was a high-energy hitting demo. I love that.